Hey Ridgepoint, so glad to have you with us today. Thank you for being here. Today, our lead pastor, Pastor Brent, is back with us for week 2 of our new series that we're calling The Good Life, as we work our way through the book of Proverbs. And today's topic is an important and a relevant one, as we will see what the Bible has to say about pride and humility. Now let's be honest, you probably know some people who are just full of themselves. It's exhausting, isn't it? You might also know some people who are kind of falsely humble. They're nice and they're kind of self-deprecating, but you can tell that's not really who they are either. Somewhere in the middle, there's a perfect balance of true humility. And you know these people too, and they're likely some of your favorite people. It turns out that pride and arrogance aren't just annoying, but they're actually dangerous, and it can eventually lead to your fall. The book of Proverbs talks about this quite a bit, and there are practical takeaways for all of us. So let's get to it now with Pastor Brent for week 2 of The Good Life.
The good life. We've all heard that phrase, the good life, and each of us might define that a bit differently. But these weeks we're in the Old Testament book of Proverbs, which are wise sayings, and guess what? Live out and follow the Proverbs, and they will lead you to the good life. They certainly will. A life of healthy relationships, a life of calibrated financial wisdom, a life of managing your own emotions and controlling your tongue, a life of responding to temptation well and coping with hardship. I'm telling you, the Proverbs of the Bible will lead you to the good life. So when you follow the Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 9, you will understand righteousness and justice and equity, every good path. When you follow the Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 20, you will walk in the way of the good and keep to the paths of the righteous. I love chapter 3, verse 4. When you follow the Proverbs, you will find favor and good success in the sight of God and man. Christianity is not just true. It actually works in real life. It actually works. Now, living out the Proverbs will not lead you to a problem-free, pain-free life. No, but it will lead you to the good life. One of the dominant themes of the book of Proverbs is pride and humility. Specifically, reducing, knocking down, putting away pride, and embracing and elevating humility. Now, the challenge is that pride is natural. You never have to say, today I'm going to be self-centered. You never have to try to be prideful because it's natural to us. It's unnatural to be humble. That's where we have to say, today I want to try to be humble, because that's not easy. This last week I had an embarrassing thing happen. I had gone to lunch, come back, I still had my drink. I needed to chat with Matt Ayresman, and I set my drink down, and I was doing something on my phone talking to him, and then I left. I walked out. And I was a few steps down the hallway, and I heard Matt say, "Hey, Brent, you're great." Like, when did you figure that out? And I turned around, and he's walking toward me with my cup, and he says, "Brent, your drink." I thought, I don't know if that's my bad hearing or my pride for me to say your drink. No, you're great, That's just how our life is. We tend to be proud, self-centered, me first. Frequently, people will ask me, how's Ridgepoint going? Tell me about Ridgepoint. And you need to know, I love talking about you. I love talking about this church. I love this church. And so they asked me the question, I can go on. This is what our church is like. Sometimes I describe our church this way. I say, you know, Ridgepoint, they're a pretty pragmatic group of people. Just say it like it is. They can smell spin from a mile away. They don't need me to pour a bunch of extra syrup on the pancake to make it taste better. Just cut to the chase. Say it like it is. That's what Ridgepoint is, a pragmatic group of people. So if I cut to the chase and just said it like it is about pride and humility, it might go something like this. Go ahead, be the fool. Let pride lead you. Go ahead, be a my way or the highway person. Be slow to apologize, never admit you're wrong, don't ever ask for help. Be stubborn, dig your heels in, prove your point, always try to win the argument. All I know is that that's going to lead you down a bad road. Your relationships will struggle, you'll make lots of decisions, and people will struggle to like you. But go ahead, try it. On the other hand, if you try out this humility thing, if you work to lower yourself under the rule of God, and you try to elevate people around you, I'm telling you, that's going to lead to the good life. You will make better decisions. I guarantee it. You will make better decisions. You will organize your finances right. You will respond to hardship good. You will manage your emotions. But it's up to you. You can be the fool and choose pride, or you can choose the wise road and be humble. Your choice. So if I said that to you as a pragmatic people, I would say, okay, that's pretty much my sermon. The rest is just detail. So I guess if you're on a time crunch or something, you can get up and leave right now. Just saying. Well, hey, no. Yeah, you sit your down, okay? Yeah, you don't have to listen to everything I say. I thought that was funny. Okay. And by the way, I set them up ahead of time because the Lansdowne family is much too nice to walk out in the middle of my sermon. They are much too nice. Oh, he started to go again. May God judge you. All right. Can we come back home? All right. Okay, let's look at some Proverbs about pride and humility, okay? Proverbs 16:18. Pride goes before destruction. Said another way, pride leads to destruction. A haughty spirit, a proud spirit, before a fall. Or said another way, a haughty spirit leads to a fall. It leads to destruction, leads to a fall. Pride simply leads us down a bad road. So at work, if you're a proud person, you will not receive correction well. You will, in your pride, not be willing to admit that someone has an idea that you didn't have, and you're going to resist it, and in time, you will be branded at the workplace as not being a team player. And people will start thinking, you know, if they got fired or left, we wouldn't really miss them. You see, pride at work leads to a bad place. In relationships, if you don't apologize quickly, you don't admit that you're wrong, you don't forgive quickly, you dig in, you defend yourself. If you choose to be proud and you have to have the last word every time, you have to prove yourself right and them wrong, I'm just saying, you will be branded, your reputation will be as a fighter, and people will struggle to get along with you. Okay? In moral decisions, if you're a proud person, you will say, I know it's wrong, but I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway. That's what proud people do. They admit that what they're about to do is wrong, but they don't give a flip at all. They just don't care at all. That's a proud person. A proud person will also say, I'd never fall into that sin. And so they let down their guard and they take a few little steps of compromise, and then they end up doing what they said they'd never do, because pride comes before the fall. Proverbs 11:2 says this, when pride comes, something comes with it, disgrace. So when pride comes, disgrace comes. Okay, but with the humble, wisdom comes, or with the humble is wisdom. That phrase, when pride comes, is kind of odd, because don't you feel like pride is always there? It's always there. It's always lurking. But when that self-centeredness that is always lurking in our life, when it steps forward, right? This proverb says disgrace comes. The Hebrew word, the Old Testament was written in Hebrew. The Hebrew word for disgrace carries two things. It can carry personal disgrace and shame, and or it can carry public disgrace and shame. So when you're proud and you step into sin because of your pride, sometimes you'll feel disgrace, like shame, and often you'll experience public disgrace. Here's another word for disgrace in English, okay? And on the count of three, I want all of us to say it out loud. 1, 2, 3. You're all wrong. I still don't know how to pronounce it, ignominy, you know. Supposedly the stress is on the ig. Okay, so for what it's worth, ignominy, okay, it really speaks to this disgrace. It speaks of personal shame and public shame. Okay? Last July, at a Coldplay concert, this couple got caught on the kiss cam on the Jumbotron. They were married, but not to each other. And it went viral. Our entire nation saw their fall, their public disgrace. Okay? Now, I wish nothing bad on them, okay? I want restoration for them, whatever that might mean in relationships. But my point is this. Pride will go something like this. My marriage is bad. I deserve better. I can handle it. I won't get caught. Pride goes before the fall. Okay? Now, back to Proverbs 11:2 there. It says, if this is where pride leads to disgrace, there's a destination for humility, and it's the life of wisdom. When we lower ourselves beneath God, and when we elevate people around us, we will make better decisions. We will. And our reputation will flourish. Because we all know what it's like to see someone walk up, and in our minds we roll our eyes and we say, oh no, all they do is talk about themselves. Whether they feel any self-awareness over this, they have gained a reputation of public disgrace for being someone who always talks about themselves. Or someone walks up and we say, oh no, they're going to complain about something because they always complain. See, there's a public disgrace that comes when pride leads us. Whether you're self-centered in your talking, whether you're a complainer, whether, you're whatever it is, whether you're greedy or a cheat, We gain a reputation from the road of pride, but we gain a reputation from the road of humility. Let's look at a couple of New Testament passages on pride. James 4:6 says, God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. That's pretty strong language. God opposes the proud. What's saying? God opposes proud people, and he's for humble people. But he opposes proud people. So sometimes we'll say to a friend or a family member, hey, I got your back. I'm always here for you. If you ever need anything, let me know, because I'm here for you, right? And we mean it when we say that. I got your back. I'm here for you. If you ever need anything, let me know. We mean that. But if someone goes and robs a bank and then comes to our house and says, hey, would you protect me, hide me, if the police come, don't tell anyone, because you said you'd always have my back. Well, no. Yeah, we'll have your back, but that doesn't mean that we're going to defend you no matter what in your bad decisions. So God says, I've got your back. I'm always here for you. Hey, if you ever need anything, let me know. And God means it. But that does not mean that he will be in favor of and support and defend our pride. He is opposed to proud people. Does he love all of us? Yeah. But he is against us because of our pride. Okay? Pride prohibits a God-centered life. You cannot have God at the center if you have pride at the center. They just don't go together. You cannot be an others-focused person. Pride prohibits that. God is opposed to the proud. Philippians 2:3-4 says, do nothing out of selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves. And the New International Version says, consider others as better than yourself, okay? Let each of you look not only to his own interest, but also to the interests of others. So this phrase, count others as better than, as more important, as more significant than you, objectively, it is true that another person may sin less than you. Other people may be better Christians than you. Conversely, it's true that you may be a better Christian than some other people. What this is saying is, it says it doesn't matter who sins less. Love drives us to humility, where as a practice, we just lift up the other person. And we not play the game of whether they deserve it or not. Because humility elevates other people. Now, when you count others as more significant than you, that doesn't mean you can't speak your mind. It doesn't mean you can't stand up for yourself. It doesn't mean that you should be a doormat and let others run over you and abuse you. It says, don't just look to your own interests. It's okay to look to your interests. Okay? Jesus looked to his interest. He got kind of tough with people. But humility says we don't just look to our own interests. We look to the interests of others. And a line that I've used over the years is, we try to see the upside of their side and the downside of our side. That's what humility does. I heard this quote recently, love is what you do when you don't feel like it. Isn't that good? Love is what you do when you don't feel like it. And we could substitute humility into that phrase. Humility is what you do when you don't feel like it. There are a lot of days when I don't feel like lowering myself under God. I just don't want to. I want to do it my way. But humility is what you do when you don't feel like it. And there are people that I actually don't like very much. None of you are here. Okay. We all struggle with people like that we struggle to like. Humility is what you do even when you don't feel like it, because this is what love does. It lowers ourselves. When Joan and I are having an animated conversation, okay, what humility should do, which is what I don't normally do, humility should honor Joan by listening attentively and not in my mind already planning a rebuttal. Right? Because that's what we do, right? We're listening to someone, and at the same time, we're getting ready with the boxing gloves because we're preparing while we're listening to go to the fight. Humility is what you do when you don't feel like it. Well, now I think I'm done. So, Jason, you're welcome to leave now. Okay? Ladies, on this Mother's Day, I want to say thank you. Because 1,000 times over, you show humility towards your kids and your family. You let them eat first and you eat what's left. You serve, you sit down last. You get up first to clean up. You don't get thanked enough. But thank you for being humble, okay? Thank you. And to all of us, as a pragmatic group of people, I say, stop being so proud. Don't be the fool. You know where it leads. It will lead to disgrace. It will lead to a public disgrace. It will lead to a legacy that you will have a really hard time shifting back. So don't go there. Don't. Be humble. Do it even when you don't feel it. Is it the hardest thing? Yeah, but it will lead you to the good life. I'm telling you, it really, really will. So let's knock down the pride and let's embrace humility. One last thing. Jesus is the greatest example of humility. King of kings, creator of heaven and earth. He shed his glory. He put himself in human skin, and he humbled himself. He lowered himself under his Father's will, and he lowered himself under us, and he went to that cross. And if he, as creator of heaven and earth, was willing to humble himself in front of God and man, he is not asking too much for us to do the same. And it will lead to the good life. Let's pray.
Hey friends, thanks again for joining us for this message today as we continue this deep dive through the book of Proverbs. And hey, speaking of Proverbs, I have one related thing that I wanted to remind you about before we wrap things up for the day. If you've been around Ridgepoint for a little while now, you know that we love to find ways to read the Bible together. So our church currently has a Bible reading plan through the YouVersion Bible app that gives you daily checklists to follow if you'd like to read along with us this month. Now, if you are already in this plan, if you've heard this spiel before, hey, I get it. You can go ahead and log off and we'll see you again sometime soon. But I have had several people ask me some specific questions about this plan, so let me walk you through a few things that might be helpful. Now, right now, the plan that we're doing takes us through the book of Proverbs, but we're going to keep doing this. So you can also follow these same instructions next month or any other time that we talk about a church-wide Bible reading plan. Okay, step 1. Make sure that you have the YouVersion Bible app installed on your phone or your tablet. It's a free download, and I bet most of you already have it on your phone. It's the little brown Bible icon. So if you don't have it, pull up your app store and give it a download. Then go to ridgepointwichita.com/Bible. And this is key. A lot of people try to start within the YouVersion app, and I totally get it, that makes sense, but in order to join our plan, you have to start from our website. So pull up that page, and if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see 3 orange buttons with our 3 service times, 8:15, 9:30, and 11. So click or tap on the button for the service that you usually attend, and then it should open up in the app with an invitation from me to join our plan. So hit accept, and then you're in. And again, this month we're reading through Proverbs, so you'll see that for each day this month, there's a short devotional to read, and then just 1 chapter from Proverbs to read. And if you'd like, there's also the Talk It Over section, where you can share a highlight or a quote or a question from that day's reading. And only those of us in the Ridgepoint plan will be able to see those comments. So one more time, don't start a new version, start on the Ridgepoint website, and that will get you into these specific Ridgepoint plans. And hey, thanks to all of you who have already signed up and you've been reading with us. And it is not too late for any of the rest of you, so hop in today to read along with us. And now we'll wrap things up for this week. So thank you again for being here. We'll be here again next week, the same time, same place. So we hope to see you again real soon.